This man, British comedian Russell Brand, who you probably recognize. You may know him from his stand-up career or roles in several Hollywood films. He's undoubtedly a very charismatic performer. And recently, he's taken a sort of interesting career turn. He's become a popular, very popular podcaster. He bills himself as kind of a wellness guru, but actually promotes a lot of bogus ideas about everything from vaccines to climate change. And his whole shtick is part of this booming, enormous corner of the internet. I wouldn't even call it a corner anymore. Occupied by people, audiences of people who are skeptical about institutions in general, often with very good reason, the government and big pharma, or globalists as they call them. And the appeal of Russell Brand's particular shtick, although again, a lot of other people are sort of in this game, is a fundamental issue of trust, right? You've got a lot of people out there across the world, different countries, the UK, here, a lot of places. You have people who are distrustful of traditional sources of knowledge or authority, and then figures like Russell Brand or Donald Trump using that distrust to their advantage. And we're seeing another example of this in the wake of these allegations against Russell Brand. Allegations of rape, of sexual assault, allegations of abuse. The findings come from a joint investigation by 3 UK news outlets, the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4 Dispatches. They spoke with 4 women who have alleged sexual assaults between 2006 and 2013, including one who was just 16 years old when she says Brand began a relationship with her. That was the age of consent in the UK at the time, I should note. She recounts how he would send a car to her school to take her out of lessons to his home. Now, when given a chance to reply to these allegations, Brand's lawyers told those news outlets that their client believes there is a, quote, deeply concerning agenda all this, namely the fact that he is an alternative media broadcaster competing with the mainstream media. And then Brand himself released a video statement saying his relationships were, quote, always consensual, that he absolutely refutes the allegations. And he went on to allege there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kinds of spaces that he occupies, and accuses the mainstream media of a coordinated attack. Now, let me just say, I didn't report this story. We haven't confirmed it. I don't know whether these allegations are true. I can only consider the evidence presented in the published investigation, and I would suggest people read it because it's pretty harrowing stuff. That said, I do find it difficult to believe that Russell Brand has been targeted because of his brave truth-telling on the war in Ukraine or his vaccine skepticism. And yet that line of defense is a very persuasive one, not just for his audience, but for the whole gamut of folks who are meshed in this lucrative, hermetically sealed universe of distrust and disinformation. And a lot of them, shocker, are expressing their solidarity with Russell Brand.
That free like and that free subscribe button. You've probably seen my face before on Fox News. I'm here now doing the news. So you have just watched 2 portions of a segment, one from MSNBC and the other was with Megyn Kelly, who was at NBC for a split time before. Now she's with YouTube and SiriusXM, and she had Russell Brand. So the whole topic today is Russell Brand. For those of you who don't know Russell Brand, he is like an A-list celebrity. He used to date Katy Perry, and he is a right-wing. Not because he's a conservative. He's never said, oh, I'm a conservative, I go to church. He didn't say that. He is more of wellness, and he's more of a conspiracy influencer. So that makes him right-wing. Anything that doesn't fit into the mainstream is considered right-wing. So they'll put conservatives together, they'll put anti-government together, they'll put the Ku Klux Klan together. Anything that doesn't fit in the liberal media narrative, it's right-wing, okay? So truth is right-wing for the liberal media. So the gentleman, Chris Hayes on MSNBC, seems as if he had a great time reporting on Russell Brand because he's saying it's just like the Donald Trump. And I'm here to tell you, you see the double standard in this world. If you are right-wing, you must be perfect. If you are liberal, you don't need to be perfect. How do I know this? Tucker Carlson had on Twitter, he had a gentleman come on and said he had sexual intercourse with President Obama probably 20 years ago. Now, we try to break this news and most people say it's fake news. You know why? Because it's liberal. It doesn't matter if President Obama had sexual relationship with a man 20 years ago, because he's liberal. However, Russell Brand, and I'm not downplaying it, you know, the Russell Brand and these 4 women that brought these accusations, they all need privacy. And I hope the media respect the 5 people involved, or the women and Mr. Brand, respect their privacy, because these things are hurtful. So stop digging up in these people's business. Mr. Brand needs to take a break. He needs to deal with his personal issues. And Russell, I've been in the media for 20 years, and what I can tell you, you're down, but you're not out. That's just the media for you. People bring accusation. As an attorney, I'm telling people to listen. Accusations don't mean they're real. Give it time. We're not here to judge anybody. I know MSNBC is having a good time laughing. Chris Hayes think this is funny, but there's nothing funny about people talking about their personal lives when they're in a professional setting. And there's nothing really funny about somebody saying they're raped and Mr. Brand is saying it's consensual. There's something else I need to bring up. In England, a girl at the time, 16-year-old is consensual. So let's not go, ooh, she was 16. It's in another country, first of all. So forget it. It's not the American rules that apply. It is the British rule. And we need to respect the system. The police are investigating it. It doesn't mean that Mr. Brand is going to be charged with a crime. It's an investigation. Respect the investigation. Leave these people to privacy, because there's a lot of hurtful stuff that are coming out. And, you know, YouTube suspended Mr. Brand because it's a distraction, really. You know, so Russell, you know, I know you're saying, ooh, it's because you don't meet a narrative. You know, sometimes we do things in life that comes back to us, and it doesn't mean you're down and out. It just means that, you know, you've got something to deal with. Everybody's got to go heal and then come back, you know, because you are a wellness guru. There's a lot of people that need to be motivated by wellness. But to say right-wing media, all right-wing media are Christians, it's wrong. Not everybody that is on television who say they're right-wing doesn't mean they're conservative, doesn't mean they're Christians either. You've got to understand that, as even MSNBC was pointing out, there's money to be made in any speech that's being made. There are people on the internet who pretend to be conservatives when they're not. We're not here to judge them either. What I'm trying to explain to everybody that's watching this segment now is that the liberal media, mainstream media, pull everything that it does